Now it befell in the days of King Tryggvi Olaf's son that the woman he had wedded was Astrid, and she was the daughter of Eirik Biodaskali, a wealthy man who dwelt at Oprastad. When the downfall of Tryggvi had been accomplished, Astrid fled away bearing with her what chattels she might. And with her went her foster father Thorolf Lausbeard, who never left her, whereas other trusty men, loyal to her, fared hither and thither to gather tidings of her foes or to spy out where they might lurk. Now Astrid, being great with child of King Tryggvi, caused herself to be transported to an islet on a lake, and there took shelter with but few of her company. In due time she bare a man-child, and at his baptism he was called Olaf after his father's father. All that summer did she abide there in hiding. But when the nights grew as long as they were dark and the weather waxed cold, she set forth once more, and with her fared Thorolf and the others of her train. Only by night could they venture in those parts of the country that were inhabited, being in fear lest they should be seen of men or meet with them. In time, at even, came they to the homestead of Eirik of Oprastad. And since they were journeying by stealth, Astrid sent a messenger to the goodman of the house, who bade them to be led to an outhouse, and there had set before them the best of cheer. Thence, when Astrid had abided for a while, her followers went unto their homes, but she remained there, and with her to bear her company were 2 women, her babe Olaf, Thorolf Lausbeard, and his son Thorgils, who was 6 winters old. They rested in that place until the winter was done. After they had made an end to slaying Tryggvi Olaf's son, Harald Greycloak and Gudrod his brother hied them to the homesteads that had been his. But ere they came thither Astrid had fled, and of her learned they no tidings save a rumour that she was with child of King Tryggvi. In the autumn fared they to the north, as has been related beforetime, and when they were face to face with their mother Gunhild, told they her all that had befallen them on their journey. Closely did she question them concerning Astrid, and they imparted to her what they had heard. But because the sons of Gunhild were that same autumn and the next winter at strife with Earl Hakon, as hath already ere now been set forth, made they no search for Astrid and her son. When the spring was come, Gunhild despatched spies to the uplands, and even as far as Vik, to get news of Astrid. And when the spies returned, it was with the tidings that she was with her father Eirik, and there most like was she rearing the son that she had borne to King Tryggvi that was dead. Forthwith Gunhild chose messengers, and equipped them handsomely both with weapons and wearing apparel. 30 men chose she, and their leader was Hakon, a man of influence and a friend to herself. She bade them make their way to Oprastad to Eirik, and from thence take the son of Tryggvi, and bring him unto herself. Thereupon the messengers set out on their way, but when they were come nigh to Oprastad learned the friends of Eirik concerning their journey, and went one evening unto him with the tidings. Straightway when night had fallen, Eirik bade Astrid make ready to leave, furnished her with sure guides, and set her eastwards with her face towards Sweden, to his friend Hakon the Old, who was a man in the exercise of potent sway. They adventured when the night was not far spent, and next day, towards even, were they come to a countryside called Scorn, and seeing there a homestead, thither went they craving lodging for the night. Of their names they made a secret, and their garb was but meanly. The yeoman who abode in the place was called Bion Venomsaur, a wealthy man was he, but withal churlish, and he drave them away, and they came that same evening to another homestead, which was called Viska. Thorstein was the yeoman who dwelt there, and he gave them shelter and good cheer for the night, and there they slept in good beds. Next day betimes came Hakon with the men of Gunhild to Oprastad, and asked for Astrid and her son, but Eirik said that she was not there, so Hakon and his men ransacked the homestead, and bided till late even toward sundown, and gat them some tidings of Astrid's road. Then rode they forth the same day, and came almost as night fell to the house of Bion Venomsaur in Scorn, and there took harbour. Then Hakon asked Bion if he had aught to tell concerning Astrid, and he said that some wayfarers had come there during the day, and had asked for a night's lodging. I sent them away, and it is likely they sought a refuge elsewhere in the neighbourhood. Now a workman that had been of the household of Thorstein, being on his way to pass out from the forest, that same even happened to chance on the homestead of Bion, and learned that guests were tarrying, and further of what fashion was their errand, and all this he forthwith sped back to tell to Thorstein the yeoman. So while there was still a third of the night unspent, Thorstein aroused his guests and bade them begone, urging them harshly to bestir themselves. When they had passed a little way from the house, then did Thorstein open unto them that the emissaries from Gunhild were hard by at the house of Bion seeking for them. They besought him for succour, and he set them on their way with a guide and some food, and their guide led them into the forest, where there was a lake and an islet overgrown with reeds. They were able to wade out unto the islet, and thereon hid they themselves among the reeds. Early on the morrow Hakon rode out from the homestead of Bion over the countryside, asking whithersoever he went for Astrid. When he was come unto the house of Thorstein, demanded he if they had thither been, and Thorstein said that certain folk had fared thither, and had gone on at daybreak eastwards through the forest. Then did Hakon bid Thorstein come with him, because he was skilled in the knowledge of the tracks and hiding places, and Thorstein set forth. But when they were come to the forest, led he them away from where Astrid was. The whole of that day did they go seeking for them, but found them not. Then they came back on their road, and related unto Gunhild what had befallen. Astrid and her followers went forth on their way till they were come unto Sweden, to the home of Hakon the Old, and there Astrid and her son dwelt a long while, and it was well with them.